Okay, so y'all are probably wondering, Jordan, why are you making this video? You know, what is the whole purpose of this video? Well, it's because yesterday, me and one of my buddies were talking about, you know, Adam Sandler movies since the new Grown Ups 2 movie's coming out. We were just kind of talking about it. And it was a very interesting conversation. We were debating on what was our favorite ones and which ones were our least favorite of his. And we just kept going on and on and on. And I thought this would be a great idea to make a video about this. Of course, my friend's not here, so we're not going to actually talk to him, you know, and all that. But the whole reason I'm making this video is because I want to express my favorite and least favorite Adam Sandler movies, because it's just been something interesting that I personally like to talk about. And let's just get started. I actually want to start off with my least favorite Adam Sandler movie, just to kind of get that out of the way, because I don't want to end the video on, you know, it being the least favorite. I just don't work like that. You know, you always want to save the best for last. Now, as far as Adam Sandler movies, you know, movies recently, I just don't like a lot of his movies recently, you know what I mean? Like, That's My Boy, You Don't Mess With the Zohan. I personally didn't really like click that much. I know some people did. I just didn't like it that much. Oh man, what else was there? There's just a whole bunch of others. Oh yeah, Just Go With It, you know. You know, those movies nowadays, I just don't like them. You know, they're not that funny. But though, there's these two movies, horrendous movies. One's actually an older Adam Sandler movie, and one's actually a newer Adam Sandler movie. Oh my gosh. These two movies were so horrendous, it was hard to find which one was my least favorite of the two. And I'll tell you right now, it was a tie between Billy Madison and Jack and Jill. Now, some of y'all might like Billy Madison. I just could not stand that movie. I really hated that movie so much. I literally think I got migraines from that movie, whatever you call it. I'm not even kidding. That movie was so horrific dog crap. I'm not even kidding. But then, you know, I think, let me just say this. Before at the time, probably around like 2010, 2011, before the other movie came out, which, take a wild guess, you know, just take a wild guess, you know, anyway. Billy Madison at the time was my least favorite of Adam Sandler's movies, you know. I'm like, it could not get worse than this movie. And even though his movies have been getting pretty bad, you know, I still held Billy Madison up to that standard. But then this movie came out November 11, 2011. And that, my friends, is Jack and Jill. You heard that right, Jack and Jill. Oh my God, I never thought I would see the day that any one of his movies would be a lot worse than Billy Madison, you know. But Jack and Jill, oh God, that was a piece of dog crap. I mean, have you seen this movie? You know what, let me rephrase it. Don't go see this movie. Whatever you do, you know, stay away from that movie at all costs. It is just complete and utter crap. It was okay, here's the thing, you know, when you have a story like this about two twins, you don't really expect Adam Sandler to play the girl also. It's just so annoying. Oh my gosh. And the jokes in this movie, you know, like most Adam Sandler movies, well, let me rephrase, the newer Adam Sandler movies, they're just not that funny. In this movie, okay, I'll be honest, I did not laugh in this movie at all. I actually left out of this movie as fast as possible, you know, but I probably left this movie within like an hour. Like, I was like thinking to myself, you gotta stay till the very end. You have to stay to the bitter end to get a whole view of this movie. You might end up liking it. You know, I was like, I can't take any more chances. I left like the first hour out of the movie. It was just so bad. So I can't even tell you like really pretty much the last like what 30 minutes of this movie at all. It was just horrible, you know. But oh my God. I mean, sometimes it's just fun to talk about a movie that's terrible. It is. It's a lot of fun, you know. It's a lot of fun talking about a movie that's just horrendous, horrific, and just unfunny, in a sense, you know. There are some movies that like other people say that are terrible. I probably agree with them. There are also some other movies that I think that are just a bunch of dog crap that others might not think so much about. But this one, definitely, hopefully this movie, Jack and Jill, hopefully a lot of people will agree with me that this movie is a piece of dog crap. This may not be the worst movie they've ever seen, but it is personally one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Surprisingly, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. And I'll get that, and if y'all want me to tell you what's the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, you can let me know in the comments below. But back to Jack and Jill. I mean, the characters and the storyline, it was just all uninteresting, unfunny, just terribly made. You know, I mean, you have those scenes, you know, you want to laugh at these scenes, you know, but it's just not worth laughing. And let me just say this, probably the worst scene out of this movie was the jump roping scene. I think that was probably the part where I got up and left, probably. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I can tell you it's not worth remembering at all. But all I remember walking out of that movie, you know, I'm pretty sure it was the jump rope scene when they're on that cruise ship and they do the dumbest dance. They do the dumbest jump rope and dance scene ever. Who claps at that crap? No one. We're all booing in the audience. We literally booed in the audience when we saw that movie. It was... Man. So let me just say this. Billy Madison, you got saved. If this movie hadn't come out, you would have been the worst piece of crap ever made from an Adam Sandler movie. But surprisingly, you're not. And so, I have to give you that. But Jack and Jill, oh yes! Topped my list on the worst Adam Sandler movie. And one of the worst movies ever. Adam Sandler, he's just on that breaking point where his movies are just not funny, you know, and it's like, always that dialogue going back and forth, it's just uninteresting, you know, it's just, the jokes are like just not that funny. I mean, you would think it'd be funny. It has some of that slapstick humor that, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You know, I can go on and on about how terrible this movie, but pretty much I'd just be saying the same thing, like I'm already doing. But, you know, like I said before, sometimes it's just fun to say how terrible a movie is. It really is. I mean, there are some this previous year that I've seen, but this was like way back, like in the beginning of the year. Like movies like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters and Movie 43. I haven't seen movies like Texas Chainsaw, and I'm not going to see that movie. I might see it, I don't know, but... I still haven't seen that movie, but probably not going to watch it since I've heard people say it's terrible. There are a couple other movies that I have seen this past year. I don't even remember what their names are because they're just that terrible. Oh, and Scary Movie 5. Ooh, how can you forget about that movie? It was probably forgettable. It was just, ugh. I'm getting way off topic here, but I'm telling you, like I said, I mean, there have been some bad movies this year, but honestly, Jack and Jill is probably worse than some of the movies that are just utterly terrible from this past year, you know, and it's a fly, you know. Okay, so like I said, my least favorite Adam Sandler movie, Jack and Jill. You're gonna guess the review of this, the rating of this movie. It's just a flat out 0. Look, see, there's just nothing good about this movie at all. Oh, it's just utter dog crap. Yes, that's really what this movie is. Hopefully a lot of y'all agree with me. I'll be surprised if some of y'all actually think this is the best movie in the world. But let's face it, that's not going to happen. Anyway. Now, let's get down to the best Adam Sandler movie. Now, this one's actually going to be a surprise, okay? Because this is probably one that probably none of y'all have ever heard of. You know, this is actually one of more... If you've never noticed, Adam Sandler has actually done what I consider 2 serious movies, you know. But... You know, this best movie, it's not one of his slapstick movies, you know, which, I mean, I enjoy some of his slapstick movies like Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, The Longest Yard, movies like that, you know, that just make it fun to watch, you know, in a sense. But, honestly, my favorite movie of his, and y'all are probably going to be like, what is that movie, you know, and it's Punch Drunk Love. You know, y'all are probably thinking, it's like, what is that, you know, it's just a great story about this salesman, you know, who ends up falling in love with this girl, and then he gets caught up with this phone sex addict that is run by this mattress firm dude, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who was killer in this movie. I mean, the story's kind of complex in a sense, but it's just a great movie. And you know, the director of this movie, Paul Thomas Anderson, he's made great movies like Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, Hard 8. You know, he's just made some great, fantastic movies, you know. Oh, The Master. You can't forget The Master. That was really good. You know, I'm just sorry, I forgot about that one. Yeah, but anyway, like I'm saying, Punch Drunk Love is actually one of my more favorites of his. You know, this is a movie, this is probably like one of the most underrated movies ever made, but Adam Sandler in this movie, I mean, oh my god. You see him going from movies like Billy Madison, and then even though doing good slapstick movies like Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, Waterboy, Wedding Singer, you know, and then you see him do a movie like this, you're like, wow. Wow, he gives a killer performance. He was one of the best actors, you know, of that year. I think he should have been gotten an Oscar nomination, but he didn't. He got a Golden Globe nomination for his portrayal as Barry Egan. He just gives a killer performance in this movie. You know, I mean, you would not expect that. Coming from the guy who makes movies nowadays like Jack and Jill and There Will Be Blood. Not There Will Be Blood. I was thinking Paul Thomas Anderson, like, or Just Go With It, or That's My Boy, or, you know. This is a movie that I wish Adam Sandler could do more of. More, you know, more like comedy drama type movies. I mean, he's done movies like that, almost like kind of like Reign Over Me, but he didn't really deliver in that movie like I would expect him. And Funny People, I mean, yeah, you know, but it just didn't fully deliver. This movie fully delivers, you know, in that comedy drama aspect, and it works so well. And, you know, I mean, Adam Sandler working with, you know, like someone like Philip Seymour Hoffman, someone who's like at the top of his game right now, you know, who's just this Oscar-winning and then nominated person going up against a slapstick comedian. They just work so well together on screen. And then, but the love story between him and Emily Watson, not to get confused with Emma Watson, you know. But let me just say this, you know, the chemistry between those two, they worked so perfectly. It was so great. I'm not even, you know, I'm not that big of a love story fan. I mean, basically, I hate every Nicholas Sparks movie that's ever been made, you know. But let me just say this, though. The chemistry between those two really worked. It almost reminded me of, like, Carl and Ellie from Up. But, you know, in a sense that they, you know, you don't see them grow old together. But you see them how they fall in love. It's just a beautiful story about that. And you're probably going to guess what this movie is. Maybe, maybe not. It's a solid 10. It's just beautifully made. It is well made. It is very funny, and it's funny without the slapstick, and I enjoy that very, very, very much. So, my least favorite movie, Jack and Jill. My favorite movie, Punch Drunk Love. You know. Thank you for watching this video. If you want me to do any more of these, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to leave me more requests for movies to review in the comments below. You know, and also, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. You know, I'm probably going to be doing, like, at least one of these types of videos per day. I'll probably do a movie review per day. So keep requesting. Keep leaving suggestions, alright? Just fill that page up, okay? I'm not even kidding. And, you know, like always, subscribe, like, tell all your friends. Actually, I got that back around. I'm like, okay, here's how it goes. Yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, tell all your friends. There we go. That's like my little new, that's kind of like my new catchphrase tagline that I always put in the description, you know. And if you haven't seen Punch Drunk Love at all, which I know a lot of y'all have not, you know, look at the I'll put a link in the description below and a link right here for the trailer of the movie. See what you think about it, and then if not, hopefully you can watch the movie. Hopefully you probably like, I don't know if people will like this movie as much as I did. I mean, you can argue with me about that. I'm just telling you that's my personal favorite of his movies. But just check it out, you know, just check it out. You'll probably like this movie for sure, you know, and always be sure to like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Bye.